guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Alicia, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make a Dawn Power Wash cup, or this Dawn Power Wash cup in particular. I saw this image a while ago and I just fell in love with it. I have chickens, I love my chickens, and when I saw this I just started cracking up, laughing, because I definitely feel this way sometimes, so I decided I wanted to absolutely make this for myself. And I did with something on the other side too, and I really do like this design as well. So this was really fun to make, and so that's enough for me. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I have my cup already. I've sanded, I've prepped it, I've primed it, I've glittered it, and I'm getting ready to put on my water slide. But you know what, I'll show you real quick is how to clean out the paint, because people ask this, you know, oh, how do you stop the paint from getting inside the cup? I don't, but it comes off really easy with acetone and either a paper towel or a cotton ball, which I actually like using cotton balls, and then followed with a paper towel. So that's just how I do it. I, don't know if that's wrong. I don't think it's wrong, but so look, so if you can see, it just comes out comes off really easy, and it's pretty much clean. And then I do the paper towel so that I can just clean up any smears and just get down a little bit and just cover a bigger area. So I didn't get any epoxy drips on this one yet, but all the paint's out now. So, and then obviously when I'm done with this cup, I will give it, like when I'm ready to ship it out, I'll give it a good washing with Dawn dish soap. Actually, you know what? Now that I cleaned the paint out, I do see that there's some epoxy. Can you see that right there? So what I'm going to do, because I like to clean my cups before I do more coats of epoxy, I clean in between. It may seem like a lot of extra work, but that's just what I like to do. So you just take your craft knife and just get it underneath, and it should pop off nice and easy. Did you see that big piece that popped off? Oh, where'd it go? There we go. Ah, keep dropping it. Keep dropping it. See? It came off in like one pretty good piece. I have another. I got kind of sloppy. So, but it's just coming off really nice, especially too because I already put some acetone on it. So then this way I don't get epoxy glob after epoxy glob and make it even harder to get out of the inside of the cup. So that's all. That's good. That's good and clean. That's good enough. We'll just get the paint that was underneath the epoxy. All right, so that's clean enough to my liking. Doesn't have to be perfect, just the heavy stuff I like to get off before I keep going. Okay, so, oh, and the glitter that I used, of course, is my favorite white called Fresh Snow by Glitter Makes It. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I rant and rave over Glitter Makes It. Amazing glitter, really reasonably priced, awesome customer service, and really fast shipping. And I will link down below how to get your hands on this with a discount code. Okay, so I'm gonna water slide over this beautiful glitter, and I tell you what, I am not a fan of water slide. I hate working with it, I really do, but sometimes it just, depending on what you're designing, it just calls for it. So I've already picked out what I'm going to put on each side. I love this. I saw it, and the very first time I saw it, I just started cracking up, and I said, I need to make a cup with this on it. And so I got this off of Etsy. I'm not going to link it because there are a lot of sellers who sell this design, and I'm not connected with any one designer. So you can just Google this, and a bunch will come up, and you can just purchase whichever one you want. And then the same with this Not Today heifer. So one's going to go on one side, and one's going to go on the other side. And then I'm going to do the Dawn dish soap power wash thing, and I'll show you that. So let's go ahead and get these water slides on, and here we go. I hate working with a water slide. I mess these up so often and so many times. I've gone up to reprinting like 5 times, getting so annoyed. But something I want to mention too, when you're applying water slide to a tumbler, you want to make sure that your surface is glossy, because it will show, like if you have sanded, the sand marks will show through the water slide. So you want a nice glossy surface. So if you go ahead and have to sand your cup and it's all rough and you see all that, go ahead and clear coat it with 2 times gloss clear, shine it back up, then put your water slide on. So it's not impossible if you have to sand it. It just takes one extra step of applying the 2 times clear. And I use warm water, a little bit warmer than room temperature. I like it a little. I think it that loosens the paper quicker if it's a little bit warmer than room temperature. You can do room temperature. I wouldn't recommend cold water, but just feel it for when it starts to slide on the paper, hence water slide. And once it feels nice and loose, I'm going to go ahead and apply it to your cup, and I really need a cup holder. All right, I'm not going to roll. I'm pretty good. So you're going to take this and you're going to slide your paper down a little bit and start to put your water slide. Oh, and you know what? You're going to want your cup a little bit wet too. This is going to help move it around, because after you apply it, you're most likely going to need to move it around a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this down. And that actually looks pretty good. And so it can easily be moved around right now. You can see that, which is good for placement. You're going to go ahead and leave it wet. Do any measurements that you want to do. So I just want to make sure that the top and the bottom are the same distance. So I got 2 inches here and I've got 2 inches here. Nice. That was dead on. That's a first. So then I'm just going to take a dry towel and I'm going to pat it. I never rub these. I find that if I rub them, I rip them. So I just pat. And I know some people use squeegees. I don't have a squeegee. I think you can use a silicone brush also. I'm like slapping around here. So I just pat it. And I look at it like this and make sure, I tilt it and make sure there's no water bubbles. If there are, I like hold it and just gently slide up. And I mean gently, like seriously, because I've ripped so many water slides doing it. I've been all too rough and aggressive with it. Just make sure you're not sliding it around too much. And then gently make sure there's water bubbles. If you have a persistent water bubble and you're afraid that you're going to pop it, or I'm sorry, you're afraid you're going to rip your water slide, you can take your weeding tool and just, I mean, literally just dab it, and it's going to create enough of a hole to let that water out, but you're not going to see that hole. I promise you, you won't see it. All right, so this looks really good. I like this. And I'm going to let this dry before I jump to the other side, because I don't want to flip this over and then have it start moving around when I'm working on the other side. So I will be right back after this dry. Isn't that so cute? I love this. Okay, so this has been drying for about 10-15 minutes, and I also helped it along. I put my my heat gun on it to help dry it quicker. So it's kind of a little cheat. You can put a dryer on it, or heat gun, or blow dryer, or whatever to help it along. So I touched it. It doesn't feel wet. It's not sliding, so I think I'm ready to move on to the next side. So I'm going to put this face down, and I'm going to put my next water slide, my chicken in here. Love my chickens. I have 3 hens, and they're super cool. They're really friendly. They always come out to greet me. As soon as I open my back door, they come running to the fence. They're like semi-free range. We have an area penned off for them. I would let them out in the full yard, but we have hawks and fox and dogs that just want to eat my chickens, so we keep them penned up in a pretty big area, so that they can run around and peck and do whatever chickens do during the day. All right, I'm gonna flip this over. Sometimes you have a water slide that curls really bad. I just stick my fingers in there and hold it, or flip it and then flip it back. And I'm gonna like somewhat measure, like how I measure is probably so completely unorthodox. I see people out there with like, you know, all their tape measures and markings. I eyeball things. Probably not the best way to do it, but I've never had a complaint and everything comes out pretty good. And with the water slide, you can eyeball and then keep twisting it around to make sure you've got it in the spot where you want it. So it's just me being lazy, I guess, if you want to say that. But if I can skip unnecessary steps, then I'm gonna do that. So I'm just gonna check this, and it's moving along. It's releasing from the paper. All right, so here we go. Next water slide. Let's hope I don't rip it. I did go with the first one. Oh man, sometimes I curse when I'm doing these. Oh, it's so nasty. All right, and I forgot to wet my cup underneath. Hopefully there's enough moisture under there where it can move around. And that was my fault. That's operator error. So I'm gonna just wet my fingers and just kind of wet around. And I'm gonna straighten this out. And I'm gonna pick this, I'm gonna look down on it, make sure it's straight, and then I am gonna measure this because I do want it centered from top to bottom. So yeah, about 2 inches on this side and 2 inches, nice, right in the center again. Woohoo! And again, I'm just gonna, it's got enough slide in there, so I'm just gonna pat really gently and get all the excess water off. Just be super careful because it is moving. And then I'm gonna pick my cup up and I'm gonna look at it this way again to make sure it's exactly on the other side and it looks good to me. So I'm gonna get down on this and make sure there's no big bubbles in here. And this one's sliding around a lot. I don't want to mess with it too much because I don't want to rip it. They are very easy to rip. They are, and that's why I get so annoyed with them. That's why it's important too to get your 3 to 4 coats of clear on these, because I think it helps. It provides a little bit of thickness for them, as well as the protection so they don't bleed in the water. All right, so I am happy with the way this looks, the placement. I don't see any big bubbles in there. I'm gonna go ahead and let this dry. Look how cute this is. Oh my God, this is so funny. This is so me. And then the other side. So I'm gonna look again, make sure everything looks good, and it does look good to me. So now I'm gonna let this dry, and then after I let it dry, I'm gonna put a coat of epoxy on it. And then I will be back to show you the Dawn Power Wash. Okay, so I'm gonna spray the Dawn Power Wash on. I'm going to spray paint it, and then I'm going to rinse it. I don't have a hose right now because it's frozen. As you can see, I'm standing in snow doing this. So hopefully I can get this done with a bucket of water. All right, I am gonna spray. Sure. All right, I want my whole design sprayed because I don't want paint to get on that. I'm gonna flip it around and do the other side. And this thing's actually kind of hard to keep squeezing. Having a little bit of a time here. All right, and now I'm gonna spray. I'm gonna go in with some black. And I'm gonna go in with some red. And I'm gonna go in with some black again. And I'm gonna go in with some red. It might be interesting, I might hate it, I might love it, who knows. Let's see. All right, now I'm gonna give it a rinse. I don't know if you can see that, that is so cool. Guys, can you see that? Oh, and there goes my cup. Oh no. Let's see what happened. Oh, it's so fine. Look at that. Cool. All right, guys, I absolutely love the way this turned out. Of course, this is, this is preference. Colors and designs, it's all a matter of preference, but I love it. Red is my favorite color. I love this chicken design. It cracks me up. I'm going to be using this cup a lot, I think. So I did put on the bottom some chicken feet to do a peekaboo, and I don't know how that's gonna come out. So like this one right here, you're not gonna see because it's right underneath, but there's a couple around. Here we go with my glasses because I can't see without them. Small stuff. And I'm just gonna pull these up. And see if I like it. I think I'm gonna like it. Just be careful when you're doing this. I like to use a really, I like to use the really small weeding tool for this because it gets right up underneath there. There's one. And I put them around the top and the bottom. So I'm gonna fast forward through this because you don't really want to watch me weed out every single piece. You don't need to. Okay, that's it. So I got my chicken feet around the top and the bottom, and I am ready. Actually, I'm gonna clean up. There's a little bit of black that got through on this side. Not on this side, but on this side. So I'm actually going to take some 91% alcohol and a coffee filter, and I'm going to just clean this up a little bit, and it should come off pretty easily for you. So if you get some spots that you don't like, you can use the 91% to help clean that off the area. Now if you remember, I prepped and sanded this cup, I spray painted it white, I put the glitter on it, and then I epoxied it, applied my water slide, then epoxied again, and then I spray paint it over. So this will come right off of the epoxy with 91%. You can see it on here. So that looks much better. So now I'm going to throw it under a coat of epoxy, and that's going to be it. It's going to be done. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notification button so you can see when I upload my next video. Bye.